Hello to everyone. This is Alex Lozano. I'm super happy to be here to participate in this awesome conference. Thanks to Secjuice. In this session, I would like to talk about OSINT tools and methodologies. This is an eternal dilemma. A lot of people talk about tools. They just focus on different tools to conduct their OSINT investigations. And there are others that focus a lot on methodologies that try to explain everything they do through different steps. So today we're going to talk about both, and I will give my opinion about OSINT tools and OSINT methodologies. What we are going to talk about, we're going to define different tools, different methodologies, what's the purpose of them, reliability, and use cases. Then we're going to check the strengths and weaknesses of both. We are going to explore the different categories of tools, advanced platforms, collections, resources, and then we'll do the same with OSINT methodologies, categories, resources, workflows, books, checklists. And to finish, we'll give a final verdict. We'll say what's the conclusion about everything we will talk about. So hopefully you enjoy it and you can learn something from this presentation. OSINT tools. What are OSINT tools? OSINT tools are software, platforms, techniques that are used to gather and analyze open source information. On my right hand, I have different examples of OSINT tools: Firewall by Social Links, Maltigo, Google, EPIOS, OSINT Rocks, Gihand, a lot of different tools. We have thousands of tools that try to automate our data collection, enhance our efficiency, and improve our analysis. Reliability, data accuracy depends on the tool's effectiveness and source credibility. Not all the tools work the same and are reliable. And then what use cases we have? We can gather large-scale data, automate searches, and visualize connections through these tools. Again, not all of them work the same. We must know the tool before we use them because not all of them have the same purpose or reliability. On the other hand, we have OSINT methodologies. You can see here on the right, the intelligence cycle. This is, I believe, the most general methodology. We have planning and direction, data collection, processing and exploitation, analysis and production, dissemination, and feedback. Those are the 5 steps of the intelligence cycle. But what is an OSINT methodology? The definition is a structured process and best practices for conducting OSINT investigations. The purpose: ensures systematic, ethical, and accurate intelligence gathering. The reliability, again, ensures intelligence is verified and contextualized properly. And the use cases we have for this are conducting structured investigations, minimizing errors, and avoiding misinformation. So on the one hand, we have OSINT tools, we have different software, websites that enable us to conduct investigations in a better way, to automate and to gather information. On the other hand, we have methodologies, which are processes that will help us organize our investigations and make them reliable, ensure intelligence is verified. So what are the strengths and weaknesses of each of them? OSINT tools: strengths: rapid data retrieval, automated analysis, expands data sources. Strengths for methodologies: ensures ethical and legal compliance, enhances accuracy and credibility, and provides structured intelligence workflows. For the weaknesses, OSINT tools can generate false positives or misleading data. They require user expertise to interpret correctly. We cannot use a tool without this expertise, this know-how, because probably we will get results that are far from reality, or maybe we won't be able to interpret those results. Also, tools may become obsolete with changing technologies. One day this tool is working, the next day it's not working. That's a problem we almost always have as OSINT investigators. And then the weaknesses of OSINT methodologies: they can be time-consuming, requires manual verification, and needs adaptability to new tools and data sources. Methodologies can be time-consuming. We need time to prepare, to establish, to decide what we're going to do, what are the steps we're going to take in our investigation. And sometimes in OSINT, we don't have that much time. However, let's explore a little bit more about OSINT tools, see how they work, what they are. So OSINT tools help collect, analyze, and visualize publicly available data. These tools fall into different categories based on the purpose they have. We know we have search and information gathering tools such as Google Dorking, Shoal and Census, social media intelligence, SecjuiceCON, email and username, have I been found, what's my name, Jihan, website and domain, who is lookup, Wayback Machine, IP and network, dark web, data breaches and leaks such as the hash breach forums, geolocation and mapping, Google Maps, GeoSpy, image and videos, TNI, Yandex, YouTube data viewer, phone and number and people search, threat intelligence and malware, and metadata analysis. So we have different categories and many tools that fit into these categories. Maybe some of these tools fit in more than one, but each of these categories help us investigate different data points. Whenever we have one data point, we should use these tools under a methodology that later we will explain that, so that we can gather as much as information as possible. Once we have gathered this information, it's important to pivot and to find other tools that can help us extract more and more information. We have different categories, but also we have tools and advanced platforms. This is a distinction I would like to make because it's something I believe it's important. And once you have been working in the OSINT field for a while, you have to understand that not all the tools work the same. So tools are individual applications designed for specific OSINT tasks. Small websites, applications, scripts, they operate standalone, often requiring manual use, and can be combined with other tools in an OSINT workflow. On the other hand, we have advanced platforms. They are comprehensive systems that integrate multiple OSINT tools, automations as a key. They use algorithms, AI. Each day, these tools get more and more advanced. A lot of development behind, good teams behind that make them exceptional in some cases, supports multiple users for team investigations, and aggregates and correlates data from various sources. So we have individual tools that focus on specific tasks, and then we have comprehensive systems that aggregate these different tools, different data sources, and make our work much easier. Collections of OSINT tools I gave you here. I always like to give resources to my listeners, to my audience. And in this case, I've gathered a list of 8 collections of OSINT tools. We have Meta OSINT, Bellingcat's online toolkit, OSINT framework, Nix Intel Start Me. We have Cyber Detective's OSINT collection, Arnold Reuser's OSINT repertorium, ASINT collection, and Akito OSINT tools. All of these include thousands, more than 10,000 tools. These are starting pages, websites, collections that include and categorize many different tools so that we can use them just whenever we want. We have them there. We have these collections there. Anytime we need a tool, we should check for these collections and then select the ones that we like the best. And once we have selected them, we can create a methodology joining all of these tools and create a process so that each time we have to do a similar investigations, we know what we are doing. So here you have a list of 8 collections of OSINT tools. Next thing I'm going to give you are 20 email address tools. As you can see, many different tools for the same purpose. Before we were talking about categories. Now we have 20 email address tools. We have Ghunt, EPS, OSINT Industry, OSINT Rocks, Kaimem, Castro, Colege, Have I Been Pound, Hooksy. All of them work for a different purpose. Many are similar. Some of them are similar. Others are completely different. But whenever you have an email address, it's super useful in order to find results, to use them all and gather the big picture, all of the information that we can gather from an email address. So next, we have advanced platforms. Remember, we talked about OSINT tools and then advanced platforms. This is a list of 8 advanced platforms. Some of my favorites. We have Social Links, Firewall, exceptional for SOCMIN investigations, map visualizations. We have Maltigo. We have Scope now. We have Nexus Explorer. We have Dark Hole Vision, more focused on darknet data. Talkwalker, brand intelligence. This is excellence for this type of investigations. Black Dot Solutions for due diligence, Onyx 5 Test. So again, I'll give you 8 of my favorite advanced platforms. And next, let's start with OSINT methodologies. So let's explore these methodologies. What is a methodology? Methodologies include structured processes, best practices for conducting OSINT investigations. Again, main categories include passive and active OSINT. Passive, no interaction. Active, engaging with the target. Methodologies by source type: surface web intelligence, geospatial intelligence, social media intelligence, image intelligence, digital footprinting, and metadata, deep and dark web intelligence. There are many more, but I've selected these ones as an example. Each of these is a proper discipline that falls under OSINT, and each of them have a different methodology to investigate, to gather information, and to use the tools we have mentioned before. And then we have methodologies by purpose: threat intelligence, business intelligence, law enforcement, investigations, media, and disinformation, depending on what's our purpose, on what we are working on. We have different methodologies, and we can design our own methodology. So where to look in order to find these methodologies, to learn and to create ourselves, which is my recommendation, to create our own methodologies for our investigations: articles and blogs, workflows, OSINT books, checklists, step-by-step guides. These 5 items are great resources to check for methodologies or to develop different systems by our own. And here's a great list of resources I would like to share with you. This includes books, news, blogs, podcasts, YouTube channels, Telegram groups, newsletters. Of course, SecJuice blog is here. And these resources can help us to gather all the information, all the knowledge and expertise that these resources share, and adapt it to our needs, to our investigations, to our thoughts, and create different methodologies that can help us optimize our investigations. So here's a list of resources I want to share with you. And now let's talk about OSINT workflows. One of the best ways to create an OSINT methodology is through workflows. Here you have a general example. Underneath, you can see collection, analysis, knowledge extraction. And basically what you can see is through email addresses, real names, usernames, social networks. We apply different OSINT techniques to gather personal information, organizational information, network information, and then find different things, potential findings, such as the economic situation, relatives, lifestyle, crimes, activity on the web. So this is a general workflow so that you can see all the benefits that it can provide once we have created a workflow like this and adapted it to our investigations, to the purpose of our OSINT searches. I want to give you 2 more examples about this, about workflows, so that you can see other alternatives. Intel Techniques, popular framework developed by Michael Bassel. He offers structured workflows. These workflows have a couple of years already. You have different ones. In this case, you have the example of real name. With this real name, we can search on social media, we can search through search engines, and we can gather information such as addresses, phone numbers, usernames, other social networks, relatives. So following this approach, this workflow, starting from a real name, you can gather a lot of information and turn it into intelligence. He has other examples with emails, with phone numbers, with domains, and basically, these are step-by-step methodologies for collecting, analyzing, and correlating data from various online sources. Another example of workflows, SOWEL by SocSoy. SOWEL is a SOC weakness enumeration list. It's a step-by-step guide to social media OSINT investigations, and through these checklists, through these workflows, that he has on his websites, we can understand how to use social media data, how can we can extract this information from social media platforms and other related sources and solve our problems. It's a great website, a great resource. I recommend you. And whenever you want to develop a methodology for social media, it's one of the first places you should go and check. Apart from OSINT workflows, we have OSINT books. OSINT books serve as a great resource to extract information and to find this knowledge that later on we will turn it into a methodology, into our own methodology. I've chosen here three great books: OSINT Techniques from Michael Bassel. Again, he has this awesome book. We are now on the 11th edition, in which he shares different tools, different methodologies, different real life examples that can help us not only to discover tools and how to use them, but also how to use them in real life, following different use cases, right? Then we have Deep Dive from Ray Baker, a very good book with different sections going from people investigations to business intelligence. And through these sections, through these chapters, she's sharing workflows so that we can follow, or maybe we can adapt into our own methodologies. And finally, we have OSINT, the Authoritative Guide to Due Diligence by Cynthia Hetherington. This is also a great book for due diligence. I recommend it to everyone who wants to start or is doing an investigation related to companies and to the business intelligence environment. These are three great books, and all of them can help us to understand how OSINT works, what are the different steps we have to conduct, and then adapt, not only just like follow everything they say, but adapt this knowledge into our own thoughts. OSINT checklist. OSINT checklist is something we cannot skip. An OSINT checklist is a structured step-by-step guide used to ensure a comprehensive and effective collection of information. It helps investigators, analysts, and security professionals to not miss critical data sources while conducting investigations. And you have the example right here. I've created this digital risk assessment checklist with some categories such as personal information, privacy and security, financial information, network analysis, geolocation data, online reputation, social media presence. We use this checklist in my team whenever we're doing investigations. Why? Because it ensures that we all cover the same topics and that we can mark each time we follow one of these steps, and we make sure that we've done the work necessary for each of these sections. We just mark it, and then we don't repeat ourselves, or we know we're following for every investigation the same methodology and the same steps, right? This is important. Of course, we have to adapt our checklist, our methodologies to each investigation. Not all the investigations, well, not any investigation is the same as another one, but it's super useful to have things like this, to have checklists, so that we can follow a structured process. The final verdict for this: tools are essential, but require critical thinking and proper methodology to be effective. I'm a big supporter of tools, of advanced platforms. It's impossible to work effectively without tools and without automating, without gathering the information, the data points that tools enable us to gather. But it's important to have a methodology behind. On the other hand, methodologies provide a structured, ethical, and reliable approach, but can be enhanced with the right tools. Methodologies are important. It's good to have workflows. It's good to have checklists, step-by-step guides, but you need tools behind. You need practical tools that enable you to do whatever you have in your head. So that's my verdict. That's what I think. Tools are essential. Methodologies also. Tools must be supported by a structured methodology, but methodology without tools has nothing to do in this space. So that's all. Thank you so much. Thanks to Secjuice. It's been a great pleasure for me to participate in SecjuiceCON. I hope you have enjoyed this session. You can follow me on LinkedIn. Thank you and have a great day.